Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Trey, Yesavage is on the mound. It's the bottom of the third. Sorry we got started late, but the Rockets game, I wanted to put as much focus on that as possible because Houston is my channel. Houston is my main channel, but with the Rockets being up by about 16 or 17 points with about a minute and a half left, that game is in the bag. I'll update you on that final score in just a moment. Max Muncy's at the plate facing Yesavage. That's ball two. 2-2 is the count with nobody out, nobody on here in the bottom of the third. It's 2-0. Blue Jays. I do appreciate you all being here. Here's the 2-2 pitch in the dirt. I got to pull the right. I got to get my chat connected and pull the right game up on the screen. The 3-2 pitch is right in the bottom of the zone. Muncy thought he had a walk. He's cursing. He's ticked off. The crowd is booing. Look at this pitch, though. Woo! Right there, man. It was close. It was across the plate. Barely touched the bottom of the zone. I mean, I'm talking about by a hair. By a hair. Cruz says back-to-back homers. Heck yes. It's 2-0. One out in the bottom of the third. Nobody on. Swing and a miss by Mr. Kiki. Kiki's strikeout service is here to serve. Kiki's strikeout service, baby. Let me see if I can get this live chat connected properly. So it'll be on the screen. Next pitch, a little low. Ball 1-1 to Hernandez. Where is my live score? I'm sorry, my chat. Next pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Hernandez. Where's the live chat? Live chat. Where is it? There it is. Okay, live chat should be up right about now. This ball's hit really hard to left field. That's going to be gone. Homer by Kiki Hernandez. It's 2-1. First hit and first run at the same time. So this game has been nothing but solo homers so far. Dodgers finally on the board. It's 2-1. Who got the homers? Very first 2 batters for the Blue Jays, my friend. It was Schneider and Guerrero Jr. Yeah, Cruz is right. Schneider and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vlad is an animal. It's not even Halloween yet. That's right. Halloween is early. First pitch, a little low. Ball 1. Alex Call at the plate. Most home runs in postseason history for the Dodgers. Kiki Hernandez is about number 6 on that list for the Dodgers. That's interesting. Didn't know that. Second pitch is in there for strike 1. 1-1 with 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the third. That's right. Rockets definitely taking care of business today. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Alex Call down in the count. 1-2 to Yesavage. My scoreboard. Oh, yes, that's right. I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I can fix that. Thank you for pointing that out. That was supposed to be set up before the game, and I think I know what's going on. One second. Let me see. I might have to look at it during the break. Fly ball to center field. Varsho runs it down. Now that's the homer by Kiki. Fly ball. Alex Call flies out. 2-0. I mean, 2 down. 2-0. It's 2-1. Yes. Yeah, the final with the Rockets and the Raptors is 139 Rockets, 121 Raptors. That's the final. Good win. Good solid win by the Rockets. I predicted they would score 135 today. They actually beat me. They scored 139. I did say that if they kept on the same pace as the first quarter, they'd score 140. They almost did. They scored 139. Ohtani at the plate with nobody on, 1 ball, no strikes. On the inside edge, strike 1. 84-mile-per-hour splitter. Yeah, let me double check make sure I've got the right. Ball 2 to Ohtani. 813022. I got to make sure that my information is right on my game file. Next pitch to Ohtani. Fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Okay, so the game data is correct. That's correct. So what exactly is going on? How about that? Ohtani swings and misses, loses his helmet, strikes out. So that's a 3rd out. Big strikeout for Yesavage against Ohtani. And that's going to be it for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 3rd. But they get 1 hit and 1 run on a homer. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on here with my scoreboard. World Series overlay. It should be connecting. Maybe I've got the wrong proxy going right now. Let me double check. Give me just a second. I'll get it fixed. I'll get it fixed. Just got to figure out what the deal is here. 1 second. Let's see here. Where are they? Where are they? There it is. Okay, checking it right now. I'll be right back. I do have to go and relieve myself. I haven't been out of this chair since the Rockets game started. It's been really busy this morning. Be right back. Ooh, it's still really chilly. Really chilly in there. It's using the wrong API path for the format. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. See if I got it fixed. Whoa. That's definitely not right. What game is it pulling up? I don't know what game it's pulling up, but it's not that one. Whoa, let me... this is annoying. Okay, come on. Let's try to fix it. Let's see what it's... Yes, of course I want to open it. It asks me stupid questions. I try to open a file. It says, do you really want to open this file? Of course. I just double-clicked it, didn't I? Whoops. 813022. 813022. It had the wrong game file. Now it should be right. Let me try to refresh it again. Oh, trial just went up 3-1. Okay, now it's right. Finally. Okay. All right. So apparently, Barger is up at the plate, but right before that, somebody hit another homer. 3-1. I'm sorry that I was being so quiet and I wasn't saying anything, and it took me a moment, but when I'm doing code, the code was wrong. I had to fix the code. So while I was doing that, I couldn't say anything. You can't talk and do code at the same time. Barger fouls it off down the first baseline. It's a full count with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Was it Clement? Yeah, Clement must have had another homer, right? Solo shot. Yeah, that's right. That's what I like to see. I like to see those Dodger fans looking so distraught. I love it. 3-1. Here comes the full count pitch to Barger. Below the zone, and he takes it for ball 4. Let's go. Beat the dirty dog, says Charles, indeed. Yeah, KD scored 31, and it was a very quiet 31, Brendan. It was a very quiet 31. He's sneaky, man. The way he scores and stuff. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Snell is now pitching to Falefa with a runner on and 1 out. Lower inner part of the zone for strike 1. It is a strike. In Russia, is maybe not strike. It depends. If government says strike, it's strike. If not, it's not strike. 97. Whew. Fouled off pretty hard down the first base side. 97 mile per hour pitch. 0-2 is the count to Falafel. Let's run the pitch count up on Snell. Get into that Dodger bullpen. Low and inside. Check swing, they say he went around. That's strike 3. So Falafel comes up with a waffle. Jimenez comes to the plate with 2 outs and a runner on first. We know Snell is up to 62 pitches. So right now, he's a little high. Swinging a foul tip miss by Jimenez. Strike 1. Oof, man, I really need some more hot water. Here comes the next toss. Outside, 1-1. I think I've got some more hot water. Yes, I does. I got to cap them. Today is the 30th in Japan. Tomorrow's Halloween. I'm in the future, in case you didn't know it. Here comes a 1-1 toss to Jimenez. Fouls it off. 1-2. I appreciate everyone being here today. Got about 16 people watching, not nearly as many as I would have watching, I think, on my main channel. I wish I had had time to set up my other channel because my live streaming is enabled again on my main channel. So I appreciate all of you coming over here and following me for the games here. Check swing in the dirt. They say he went around, and that's strike 3. Jimenez strikes out. 2 terrible at-bats for Falefa and Jimenez after Barger gets on. Oh, apparently that was a sacrifice fly that scored the extra run. I thought maybe it was another solo homer. I was wrong. Dalton Varsho was on third base, and Clement hit a sacrifice fly that scored him. It's 3-1, the Blue Jays. So the Dodgers managed to get a solo homer of their own, but the Blue Jays answered and got that run right back. 5 hits for the Bluebirds. Uno for the daft Dodgers. It's 3-1. I want to take a quick look at those Rockets stats. If you guys and gals don't mind. 139 to 121. The Rockets won. They are now 2-2 on the season. Raptors are now 1-4. They are on a losing streak right now. Let's see what we got for the Rockets. I need to open up this screen a little bigger, though. I can't see the points. Durant had 31 points. He was the top scorer for the Rockets today. Jabari Smith had 25. Şengün had 18. Thompson had 18. Eason had 14. Adams had 12. Okogie had 10. He got, I think, almost all those points in the second half. Shepard had 7. Capella had 4. Not too bad. Not too bad. Rebounds. As a team, the Rockets had 53. The Raptors had 22. That's insane. 22 rebounds to 53 rebounds. Blocked shots. Rockets had 8. Raptors had 2. Field goal percentage. Rockets did improve their field goal percentage to almost 58%. Raptors were only at 50.6%. Three-pointers, 43.3%, while the Raptors were at 52.5%. They were at like 65%, so that dropped a lot in the second half, thankfully. Free throws. The Rockets need to improve there, 76.5%. That needs to be over 85 or 90%. But the Raptors are only at 73.7, so it was garbage. Whoa. Missed the first 2 pitches to Smith. Will Smith at the plate. the coach of the Dodgers said he was talking to the interview guy. He said, "Well, you know what? I think. Wait. What was your question?" He started to tell him his opinion, and then he realized he didn't know what the question was. What a weirdo. What a weirdo. The next pitch is a strike right in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Mr. Will Smith from Yesavage. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. The foul tip caught by Kirk. Strike 3. This crowd is dead, man. The only clapping you can hear is from those Blue Jays fans. It was a bit windy, chilly in Houston today, says Cruz. I had to put on a sweater. A sweater in Houston? Are you serious? I don't even own a sweater. I can't wear them. They're just too hot. Too hot, too itchy. I don't like them. Never have. My mom would buy me a sweater and I'd hate it. When I was a little kid, she forced me to wear it. But when I got older, like in high school, I told her, said, never buy me a sweater because I'm not going to wear it. Just can't. Here's the 0-1 count after that foul ball to Mookie Betts. By the way, Mookie Betts is a big freaking cheater. I just want to say that because nobody's booing him when he comes to the plate. But they should be because he's a cheater. Next pitch is in there. Nice slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mookie Betts. Cheats. Drinks, lies, steals. Smokes. Does drugs. All of the above. Swing and a miss. Nice. Another strikeout. 84 miles an hour, low and inside on the splitter. How about that? Back-to-back strikeouts. He is a ye old savage for sure. And that brings up Freddie Freeman. With nobody on. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Look at this one. Mookie Betts cheats and strikes out. Freddie Freeman, first pitch, 94 inside, swing and a miss. Strike 1. 56 pitches now for Trey. Brendan says the next Rocket game is November 1st. Then that would be November 2nd for me. 3 days away? It'll be nice to have a break. It's Thursday for me. Oh, that hits him. Freeman is going to go to first with a hit by pitch. That looks like that hit the ground first. Wearing my new Houston Rockets winter hat was good luck today, wasn't it? I don't have any Blue Jays gear. Pretty sure that I never will. Bottom of the 4th, 2 outs. Runner on first for Teoscar Hernandez. He grounds it up the middle. It's going to be scooped, and he tries to make the play at second base. A good catch, but he's not able to get it over. Jimenez grabs it and tries to backhand it on the run over to second base. but he's not able to get it over there. It was a good attempt. Just wasn't able to get it. Falefa was there, but yeah, that was way off. All right, so we have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Tommy Edman at the plate. This is righty on righty. Shut it down right here. That's in the dirt outside. Kirk stops it. 30 mile per hour and windy in Houston. Hey, Fox at Bat. I saw your comment there. No go. Good day. Yeah, but just to let you all know, my live stream is available again on my other channel, my main channel. I just didn't have the time to get it all set up this morning. It's because I had the Rockets game and then this game to do. And in order to get that reconnected, I have to do some things in my software. But I had other things to fix in my software. So I didn't have time to do all that this morning. Because just to get everything ready to do the Rockets game and then this game, I had to get up at 6:30. So if I wanted to take the extra time to get everything ready to do the live stream on my other channel, I probably would have had to get up at 5:30, and I just couldn't do that. Swing and a miss to Tommy Edman. 1 ball, 1 strike. But I figured it was nice and smooth and easy. Look at them, the Dodgers fans biting their towels. Let's hit high in the air on the infield. Falefa and Jimenez. Jimenez takes it. Now, number 3, couple of lobsters lost. The Blue Jays sink the Dodger ship as they try to bring in a couple of lobsters. The Dodgers go out, get a couple of lobsters in their ship, and they start chugging back towards shore. They almost get there, but then the Blue Jays Pirates show up and sink the ship. Lobsters lost. Lobsters officially lost. 3-1 at the end of 4. 2 hits for the Dodgers. 2 hits for the Dodgers. 5 for the Blue Jays. Couple of solo home runs back-to-back in the first inning on the first 2 batters of the game for the Bluebirds. And they follow that up in the 4th with a sacrifice fly off the bat of Varsho. No, I'm sorry. Varsho's the one who tagged up and went home. I think it was Clement. Yes, Clement that got the hit and the RBI. Cruz says if Yesavage wins this game, he will be looking at a nice contract in the future. Maybe the Astros. Oh, man. A prospect like that, a 22-year-old pitcher who is starting and doing well in the World Series. One can dream, Cruz. One can dream. I haven't heard anybody mention him. I haven't heard anyone in the Astros camp mention him, but if we could get him, I'd take him over Snell or anybody else. You know, today, did you guys hear the not Locked On Astros? Why did I say that? The Stone Cold Stros. Did you guys hear the new Stone Cold Stros today? They talked about the Astros' possibility of bringing back Yusei Kikuchi. Can you imagine if they could get Yesavage, and Kikuchi? Could you imagine that? Then we would have a few solid starters to build on. How great would that be for the Astros? Sydney says Blue Jay Way was by the Beatles. Track on Magical Mystery Tour. Blue Jay Way, I have no idea, but I'm not a Beatles fan. Fox Bat says, I just watched the breakfast video. I craved the cream hot dog. You craved it? Are you serious? What? Okay, Fox, if you come here, then I will treat you to a red bean and cream hot dog. If you want to call it a hot dog. The bread wasn't bad. The bread was pretty good. It was nice and warm. I was surprised the bread was warm. Look at that. Very first pitch, Davis Schneider hits it on the right field and right out of play. Teoscar Hernandez he almost goes too fast into that wall. Schneider threatening to hit another homer. Snell looking a little worried. He's like, "Oh crap, that was a boo-boo." It's 10:30. Hard to believe I've been up for 4 hours. But it was a nice start to the day to have a Rockets win. Here's the next pitch to Schneider. Outside, ball 1, counts even. It's going to be nice to have a break tomorrow. No games tomorrow, thank goodness. I got to go pick up Glenn. He's coming back from Osaka. Actually, I got to talk with him about what time he's going to come back. Swing and a miss by Schneider. He calls timeout. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Nobody out. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if I should have done my channel from the beginning like a weirdo. Because, you know, the more ridiculous you are, the more people it tends to attract, right? That pitch is low, 2-2. Yeah. What if I'm calling the game like this? You know, right now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. There aren't anybody out. There's nobody out right now for Schneider at the plate for the Blue Jays. That's right. Here comes a 2-2 pitch from Blake Snell. And that's a low check swing that did go around. They say he did not. Unbelievable, but ball 3. The crowd's booing. If I called the game like that, it might drive everybody away. Woo! It looked like he did go around just a little too much. Yeah, but Lake Snell's like really blown away by that. But here's the 3-2 pitch in the dirt, ball 4. The crowd boos as he goes to first base, but it is what it is. 21 watching, thanks for being here. Please have some mercy on me if you can. You can donate via my PayPal link. Please do so, because I'm not making anything on this live stream today. If I had put this on my other channel, I would be making at least some ad money. He throws that one over to first base. Schneider is back. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate, 1-for-1 with a homer today. He's got a guy on first base with no outs. How about another homer? Let's jack it out of here, baby. Here comes the first pitch from Snell. He takes it all the way. He wasn't even trying to swing at that one. Strike 1 on the outside edge. Daryl says, I had a Whataburger patty melt. First time in a while. I don't think I've had a Whataburger anything in over 20 years. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off on the right side. 1 more strike. It's 0-2. Here comes a 0-2 pitch. Grounded right back to Snell. He goes to second base to get the lead runner and first base to get the double play. Easy double play for the Dodgers. That eliminates the base runner. Couldn't have been easier than that. A little tapper right back to Snell. So easy. Takes his time, throws it to second. They throw it to first. That has got to be the easiest double play I've ever seen. Little League could have turned that one. 2 outs. Nobody on. Boba Fett Bichette at the plate. First pitch is low. Ball 1. But like I was saying earlier, if any of you feel like you have an extra coin, extra $5, or if you just want to dump in your college kids fund like I've said before, feel free. Should have a PayPal link in my description. I do. Yeah, my PayPal link is down there. Feel free to leave a donation. It'd be nice because so far off of all of these World Series games that I've done on this channel, I've made nothing. Just spending money on electricity and internet. And that is a fly ball to left field. Bichette is out. So that will turn into a 3-up and 3-down inning with a double play and fly ball. That's it for the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-1 Blue Jays. They are leading at this game 5 right now. The series is tied 2-2. 5 hits for the Bluebirds, 2 for the Daft Dodgers. Max Muncy looks like he'll be leading it off. Is that correct? Let me see. It might not be correct, but we'll see. I think that's correct. Muncy, then Hernandez, then Call. Sydney says, store was out of single cream today, so I got mad and bought chocolate whipped cream instead. Single cream? Do you mean just standard whipped cream? What's single cream? Are you just talking about basic whipped cream? I don't know what single cream is. I'm out of hot water. This is my last little bit right here. I don't want more coffee, though. I've already had 2 cups. Don't need any more of that. I don't have any food on my stomach. So if I drink any more coffee, my head's going to explode. I don't want to give myself a caffeine headache. You know what I'm saying? Regular pouring cream. Do you mean like cream for... What are you using it for? Like half and half for your coffee? Just regular cream for your coffee? Daryl says, could you imagine Blue Jays win it all in front of their home crowd? That would be awesome. Yeah, I can imagine it. They win today, and then they win the next game. I don't want this to go to Game 7. I know that MLB probably does, but I don't want it to go to Game 7. I want this to end to Game 6. I want the Dodgers fans to be completely hopeless, because that would mean that the Blue Jays won 3 in a row, right? The last 2 in Los Angeles, and then the first one back in Toronto. That's what I want. No Game 7. No Game 7. Jays in 6. Jays in 6. Tico says, sup, bro? What's going on, Tico? Thanks for being here. Yesavage is back on the mound facing Max Muncy. Here comes the first toss. Little high. 93 mile per hour fastball. Sydney says, similar to coffee cream. Yes. Gotcha. 86 miles an hour. No, 88 miles an hour. Bottom of the zone. Strike 1. The count's 1-1. 2 hits off of Savage so far. 1 run. That's the homer. Other than that, there's been nothing for the Dodgers. That's in there for ball 2. In there for ball 2. Right in there for ball 2. It's a little misleading, isn't it? 2 balls and 1 strike to Muncy. Here comes the toss. Fouls it off down the first baseline. 2-2. Sydney says, good on fruit. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Pico says, my favorite MLB always been the Blue Jays. My twin brother, Danny's the Dodgers. Grounder to the right side, scooped up by Falefa, who throws it over to Yesavage. who covers for out number 1. Kike Hernandez comes to the plate. He had the only RBI with his home run earlier in the game. He's on next with nobody on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Tico says, first time we see our favorite teams face off in the World Series. You know, that was the same thing for me when the Dodgers and the Astros played. And of course, some of that is marred because of the cheating nonsense. But for those of you who don't know this, after the Astros won their second World Series, I was talking to my brother through chat on Facebook. We were using the messenger. I was here in Japan at the time. The only thing that I can actually get my brother to ever talk about is sports. He won't talk about anything else. If you try to bring up anything else, he asks, why are you talking so much? You say a lot of stuff, but you're not saying anything. That's his opinion. His opinion is if you're not talking sports, your mouth is moving, but crap is coming out. That's what he thinks. It sounds like a joke, but I'm not joking. I've tested this before. I've asked him purposely questions that have nothing to do with sports, and he just shrugs it off. But as soon as you ask him about, like, how's the Dodgers bullpen looking this year, he just starts talking nonstop for like 5 minutes. Strike 3. Kike Hernandez goes down. Kiki's strikeout service is back. Trey Yesavage gets the out. And of course, once again, they're showing all of the famous people who were at this game. Who cares? Who cares about these people? 2 outs. First pitch is ball 1 to Alex Call. But what I was going to tell you is my brother, I said something to my brother, and he said, I don't want to talk about that crap, but he didn't use the word crap. He said, that crap's in the past. This is a foul ball. Kirk goes back. It doesn't have enough room to get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Basically, after my brother said that, I said, I've always supported your team. Why didn't you ever tell me congratulations when the Astros finally won a World Series? They've won 2 now, and you haven't messaged me once to say congrats, bro. You waited your whole life for the Astros to finally win a World Series, and they did it. And he said, F those cheaters. And I said, you know what? No. F you. I don't have a brother. And I stopped messaging him. He and I haven't messaged or talked to each other in over 3.5 years now. Or 3 years. How long has it been? Yeah. Well, it's been 3 years, basically. 3 years. Since the Astros' last championship. So my brother basically said that talking about anything except for sports is a waste of time and stupid. And talking about the Astros or congratulating me on the Astros winning championship is also stupid because they're cheaters. And I said, you know what? You're not my brother. Outside in the check swing, they say he went around. It's going to be strike 3. Nice. Yesavage gets another strikeout. The Dodgers come up with nothing. It's another nothing burger for the Dodgers in the 5th inning. The score is 3-1. Blue Jays going into the top of the 6th. Snell will be back up on the mound with 78 pitches, 49 in the zone. Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Varsho, and Ernie Clement are due up. Oh, and you're welcome, Tico, for the stream. No problem. Daryl says Astros have been to the World Series 5 times, looking to get there again soon. Yeah, it'd be nice for them to get there one more time and win it very soon so they can be at 50%. 50% win rate. That would be nice. Nice indeed. Sydney says, my first visit to Toronto as an adult in 88, got off the plane, hired a car, and drove directly to Exhibition Stadium, where by pure luck, I'd only missed the first inning of a 3-game sweep of the Orioles. The Orioles? That's funny. Cal Ripken was playing back then, right? Cruz says, I just switched on the heat in the house, enjoying a nice vodka and club soda with lime. Don't judge me. Nothing wrong with that. I've never been a regular drinker. Special occasions, I would drink a little something. But, with the cancer issue, I'm not drinking anything right now. By the way, one of my, I don't remember if it was who it was, if it was Mark or which of my subscribers donated some money and said, get yourself a nice dark beer. Well, I did. I actually picked up a one can of dark beer that I haven't tried before. I wanted to try it. It's a Japanese beer. It's in my fridge in there. I haven't tried it yet. It's just one small can. It's not one of the big cans, and I didn't buy a pack. But normally, if I drink alcohol, even if I'm completely healthy, I just drink for like special occasions, and I don't drink much. Like I love to have the mulled cider, the hot mulled cider. Have you ever had the German hot mulled cider during Christmas time? I think that's wonderful. Very yummy. And sometimes I like to put the spiced rum in the eggnog. I loved eggnog growing up, and I still love it. But as an adult, adding a little bit of rum to it is pretty nice. But I really don't drink that much. It's really funny because when I go out on a date with a Japanese lady, we sit down to order, and after we order our food, she'll say, "Did you want a beer?" And I'm like, "Why do you think I want a beer?" They always think I want a beer. And then I say, "Are you going to order beer?" No, I'm not gonna drink anything. Well, then why do you think I'm gonna drink something? Why would I have a beer? Second pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1 to Captain Kirk. No, 2-1. I missed the first pitch. My bad. 2 balls and 1 strike from Snell. He's up to 81 pitches now. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the 88-mile-per-hour slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Captain Kirk. Gordon reporting in from Hong Kong. Good to see you. Hey, Boz. Good to see you. Took my son to see the Cards. My Cards in the Minute Maid years ago, back when the Astros were in the National League. Loved their stadium. Nice throwback to the golden age of baseball. Great atmosphere. 97, too far inside. Full count. Was that back when they still had like the mound in center field, Boz? Do you remember that? They used to have a mound out there. Grounder to the third, snared by Muncy, bounces it over to first to easily get Kirk. 1 down, Varsho comes up next. Tico says, God bless you and your family. What do you think of Ohtani pitching and batting? Is he a UFO? I think his batting is much better than his pitching, but he's had all the time in the world to get good at it. Ohtani is not a position player. All he does is pitch and hit. That's it. But because he's a big guy, it gives him a lot more power. So he's a little bit of an anomaly in Japan, It's not typical. Players like him are not typical because he's a really big guy, really tall, really strong, really big. That's not typical for Japanese men. Not too many of those guys, even in the Japan Baseball League. I don't think his pitching is as great as everyone talks about. He's only averaged like what 3 1/3 innings or something this year. His pitching is okay, but he's not a pitching god right now. He's a pretty good batter, but if you take away his big hits like his homers, his hitting has been trash really. So everyone talks about how great he is, but his OPS is good. Batting average is terrible. Strikes out a lot. I don't know. I just don't see him as the overall magical player, unicorn that everybody claims that he is. Media is just all over him. Fly ball to right field, and Varsho is out for out number 2. Ernie Clement comes to the plate next. I just think that, yes, Ohtani is good, but he's also overrated and he's over-talked about. That he happens to be on the Dodgers means that they're going to talk about him even more. And that's the part that annoys me. If he were playing on another team, it wouldn't matter so much. But now that he's on the Dodgers, we get to hear about him 10 times as much as usual. First pitch is in there for strike 1 against Clement. Here's the next toss. Ground ball to first. Sliding catch by Will Smith. Or is that Freeman? I'm sorry. Will Smith is behind the plate. Out number 3. I think he made that play look a lot harder than it was. I think he lost his footing and decided to slide. But that's out number 3. Top of the 6th is done. Trey Yesavage will be back up on the mound. He got 77 pitches. He's facing, I believe, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, and Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts cheats, smokes, drinks, and gambles. Good morning to you, Gordon. It's 10:50 here in Hiroshima, 11 minutes to 11. I'm expecting this game. It's moving along pretty smoothly. I'm expecting it to be over by noon. That'll be nice because I don't have a game tomorrow. I'll be able to wrap this one up, get everything set up on my other channel to move back over there. For those of you who don't know this, I will be back over on my Geaux channel. Have any of you, speaking of Ohtani, did any of you see my perfect pitch clip? I have a perfect pitch clip I can share with you right quick while we're waiting on the commercial break. If you want to take a look at this, this is called Ohtani's perfect pitch. Ohtani's perfect pitch in Game 4. Take a look at it. You'll like it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. All right. Commercial break almost over. By the way, I'm going to pin this one. This is my... Here we go. This is my main channel. It'll be back up. It's already back up, but I'll be doing Game 6 from there, just to let you know. Because this channel here is not monetized. I make nothing off of it. And if I don't get a donation, I'm just spending money. And growing this channel for the live stream is not my intention. So for those of you who actually click on my PayPal link and send me a donation, I appreciate you. Sandy Koufax is at this game. He must not be very happy. Why did you bring me here? I told you they were going to lose, and you brought me here anyway. I'm not happy, and I'm going to pray. Shohei Ohtani at the plate. First pitch was a ball. Second one was a strike. Swing and a miss there. 1-2. Yesavage trying to get another strikeout against Ohtani. Yes, that's right, Gordon. Perfect pitch. Perfect pitch. Daryl says the Astros should turn the Astrodome into Astros Sports Museum. Not the whole thing. Maybe part of it. Oh, diving catch out in right field by Barger. Look at that. Ohtani tries to get a single or a double out in right field. That's right. Go sit down, boy. Sayonara. Look at this. Boom, baby. Tico, I appreciate you mentioning that, but I can't do that right now. I can't do that. If you want to donate through here, you literally have to do it through PayPal because, like I said, this channel is not monetized. I can't do super chats or super stickers or anything on this channel right now. That's my point. My point is I can't do any of those things. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Whenever you get your channel monetized, there are 2 levels of monetization with YouTube. 500 subscribers and 1,000. But you can't get monetized just because you have 500 subscribers. You also have to have about 3,000 watch hours. Swing and a miss. Strike out. And that's out number 2. Will Smith strikes out. That's another strikeout for Yesavage. Nice. 11 strikeouts against the Dodgers today in 6 innings. That's nuts. He just tied the record for most strikeouts by a 22-year-old pitcher in a World Series game. It's a World Series rookie record. He's tied right now. Mookie Betts takes that pitch on the lower outside corner for strike 2. If he strikes out this cheater, he's going to have the record for most strikeouts in a World Series game by a rookie. How about that? Oh, for Tani. That's right. Oh, for Tani. Low and outside, ball 1, 1-2. Come on, get this cheater. Let's see here. Boss says, I don't recall a mound. It was 20 years ago. Sorry. We did enjoy ourselves. Loved the choo-choo train. And when that meant a run against the Cards, even when it meant a run, enjoyed it so much I don't remember who won. Interesting. Ball 2, 2-2. Freeman waiting on deck, but he's probably not going to be able to come up into the next inning. Savage needs to get this strikeout number 12 and set a new record for rookies. He's up to 88 pitches. Here comes the 2-2. Get this cheater. Bounces it down to the third baseman who fires it over. Clement gets the out. So, great 6 innings for Yesavage as he gets the ground out and 2 strikeouts. Excuse me. He doesn't get the 12th strikeout yet, but he is up to 89 pitches. He might be out in the 7th, but he might not. We'll see. Blake Snell's up to 92 pitches. Whether we will see him yet or not is difficult to say, but Barger is due up, followed by Falefa and Jimenez. Snell's pitch count, I just said it's 92 pitches, 57 in the zone. So 92 and 57. Well, somebody was talking about the different type of plans that they have that they could do with the Astrodome. And there's one of them where they were talking about turning it into a multi-purpose entertainment complex, basically. And I thought that was the coolest idea. They could definitely put in a museum there. A Houston Sports Museum would be awesome. But the Astrodome is too big to just turn it into a sports museum, a Houston Sports Museum. And that's way too much space for just a Houston Sports Museum. But they could put in a Houston Sports Museum and also make it a multifunctional complex where they could host some events there. They could have some media centers there. They could have maybe some other entertainment things there. There are many things that they could do there simultaneously. They were even talking about having kind of a shopping center built in and some souvenir shops, some other entertainment complexes, maybe like ice skating, restaurants, etc. Just making it like an all-in-one kind of place you go to, and you could hang out there for many hours and do many things, with food and activities and maybe like museums, like you're saying. That would be awesome. That's what I would love to see. They can't easily get rid of it because it's a historic location, but they're either going to have to find a way to restore and use it or just repair it enough to keep it in good condition. One of the options they were talking about, I'm very much against it. They were talking about just doing enough renovations where they could turn it into a place for businesses to rent out space where they could have conferences and meetings and stuff like that. And I'm completely against that. I think that's stupid. They're talking about ripping out most all of the seats inside and just dividing up the inside into a bunch of different office spaces and building, like I'm totally against that. That makes the space so opposite of what it was built to be, in my opinion. Barger's at the plate. First pitch is on the way. Low and inside. Ball 1. Snell is still on the mound. That's pitch number 93. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Little outside, but just clips the edge for strike 1. One and one. Barger takes that one low and outside for ball 2, 2-1. I've got some bacon and eggs and cheese and tortillas in there with my name on them. I'm really, really wanting to chow down. It's been almost 5 hours since I've been up. Swinging a foul ball. That one goes back. Will Smith goes back there, but he doesn't have room to get it. New ball goes out to the mound. It's 2-2. Last 26 innings, the Dodgers have batted 165 and scored 4 runs with 25 strikeouts. That's almost a strikeout every single inning. Good job, Dodgers. All right. Barger hits it to the left side, right through the hole, and he's got himself a leadoff single. Singles party is started early by Barger. Yes, mash the like button. How many people do we... Oh, we have about 36 watching now. It's such a far cry from where I would be, I think, on my other channel. But I will say that even coming here on this backup channel, a couple of these games, I was able to get thousands of views. So I do appreciate that. Nobody out, one on. Bunt, Falefa shows bunt way high. 1 ball. Foul out and a strikeout. Man, I'm still really happy about that Rockets game today. That was a fun game. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at calling the games. I'm getting used to the players. Slowly but surely. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Snell. Falefa bounces it foul down the first baseline. Bunting him over with no outs. I don't know. What are you guys thinking about that right now? Got a guy on first base, and they're trying to bunt him over. 1 ball, 1 strike to falafel. I wouldn't mind having a falafel. Wouldn't be good for my body, though, that's for sure. 97 right in there. He shows bunt again, pulls back, and takes a strike. Good call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Please tell me you're going to be swinging now, because you don't look like a very good bunter. At least you haven't this at bat. Snell comes even. Here's the 100. No, he throws over to first base. Barger's back. 100 pitches right now for Snell, 62 in the zone. Daryl says, made me an omelet the other day. I usually buy about 100 eggs when I go to Costco, and I cook 3 to 4 every day, usually. That one gets away. He doesn't know where the ball is. Barger books it around second. Puts on the brakes when Will Smith finally finds where the ball is. I guess he lost his contacts. Take a look at this after the ball bounces. He doesn't know where it's at. That was funny. He's like, where'd it go? Where'd it go? 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second. He's in scoring position. Good opportunity. Lefty on righty. Here's the toss. In the dirt. Again. Will Smith is able to find this one. Barger stays on second. Let me refresh my page here and see how many likes we do have on the channel right now compared to viewers. Got 45 people watching, only 15 likes. That's absolutely horrible. Like the live stream, folks. How can I only have 15 likes on the live stream? That's terrible. Here's a grounder to Betts. He throws it over to first to get Falefa. Barger stays on second. Look at the Dodgers fans. Oh, my God. That's right. Poor Dodgers fans. Wah. Yeah, there we go. Wah. Me and my pink LA hat. Why isn't it working? Usually they're winning. 1 out. Jimenez at the plate. Swing and a miss. Why isn't he butting him over now? I don't know. Seems like bunting him over to third with 1 out might be a decent idea, but they're letting Jimenez swing away. Lefty on lefty. 0-1 is the count with 1 out. Barger on second. High, ball 1. Tommy wants a homie. That's true. Sydney says, farm that tired pitcher. He's up to 105 pitches, Sydney. Here comes the 1-1. Check swing, low and outside. Ball 2. 2-1. Probably the last batter here because the next one is Schneider. You know they're not going to let him pitch to Schneider. The top of the lineup. After tossing 106 pitches, this will be 107. Swing and a miss, low and away, strike 2, counts even. 108 pitches coming up for Snell in just a moment. Come on here, Jimenez, do something. A little single, a little tapper. Move him over. Little bouncer to the first base side and just a little foul. That would have been an out for sure, but he would have gotten him over to third base. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count remains here in the top. The 7th. 1 out. Barger on second base. Jimenez at the plate. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball outside. They throw it to second base. Terrible throw. Betts was able to stop it somehow. That was a ridiculous play by Smith. Instead of framing it up, he makes a terrible throw to second base. That almost hit Barger. Three balls and 2 strikes. High, ball 4. Jimenez walks. Awesome. That's probably going to be it for Snell. He's at 110 pitches, and it is. Here comes the pitching coach. Are they going to pull him out? It looks like they're going to just chat with him. They might not be pulling Snell out. Yeah, they're just talking with him right now. It looks like they're going to keep him in against Schneider. Wow. They're going to leave him in there. Can you believe it? Schneider hit the home run earlier. He's a right-handed batter. Snell is a left-handed pitcher. He's up to 110 pitches. And they're going to let him pitch with 2 runners on and 1 out. Is this a big Dodgers mistake? We're about to find out. Take one for the team. Cruz says maybe they can bring Springer in for a pinch hit Springer dinger. Well, they got him in the back pocket. Leave him in there, please. Cruz says, I agree. I think this is a bad call by the Dodgers. 87 in the very bottom of the zone takes it for strike 1. It's not going to take much for Schneider to give the Blue Jays another run. I think he can do it. Watch him give one up. Yeah, 3-run homer. 6-1 Blue Jays with a 2-home run game for Schneider. How awesome will that be? Come on, swing the bat. 83-mile-per-hour changeup right in there. So Schneider comes up, takes a fastball in the bottom of the zone, and then takes a changeup right in the middle of the zone. It's 0-2. Don't let him just throw them in the zone. You got to swing the bat, bro. He swung on the first pitch, didn't he, when he hit the homer? And now he's just standing there. 0-2. With 2 runners on and 1 out. Come on. Don't swing it crap. Low and inside. Wow, that was close. He let that one go too. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was right on the corner. Right. Ooh, just barely outside that corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Schneider, you need to get those glasses checked. Go back and get your first inning goggles on. Here's a 1-2. In the dirt. Ball bounces away. Barger gets over to third. Runners. Why didn't he advance to second? Barger saw it. He was gone to the third base. But Jimenez goes nowhere. Jimenez stays on first. That would have been a perfect opportunity to go to second. Barger could have come around third. If they had thrown it to second, he could have tried for home. These runners need to pay attention a little bit better than that. Barger was on it, but Jimenez wasn't. Here's the 2-2. In the dirt. 3-2. Sydney says better plate umpire, but that's not a high bar. Yeah, I mean, he didn't have to do much to be better than the last couple of guys. Daryl says he was sleeping. Yeah, Jimenez was sleeping at first base. I don't doubt it. Hey, there's Springer. What's up, Dinger? 3-2 with 1 out, runners on the corners. Here's the pitch. Schneider swings and misses, of course. Strikes him out. Good job, Schneider. You wasted the first 2 pitches. Taking strikes. And then they're going to take Snell out. 116 pitches. Schneider finally decides to swing at the ball. And it's right in the bottom of the zone. He misses it. Useless. Useless. In Japanese, we'd say mudada. Mudada means useless. And they are taking a break. We're on break. While they change pitchers, I'm going to be right back. I need to get another drink. I'll be back in a moment. 3-1 Blue Jays. They've got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is up. New pitcher coming in the game. Woo, man. It's warmer outside than it is in here. This house really, really does keep the cold air. It's great. It's great during the summer, but it is really difficult in winter. 6 2/3 of an inning. Blake Snell pitched, gave up 6 hits and 3 runs. He did keep the Dodgers in it, but they haven't managed to hit. First pitch to Guerrero Jr. from Edgardo Henriquez is high and inside for ball 1. I need some H2O water break, says Daryl. I got myself some post-tonic water. It's got some electrolytes in it. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. 100 miles an hour, top of the zone. Guerrero swings and misses. 1-1 is the count. Runners on the corners. Come on, man. Oh, that's good. Come on now. Drive one more run in, Guerrero. That's all you need to do. Just one more. Here's the toss. 100 high above the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two and 1 pitch on the way from Henriquez. Ooh, too far inside. 3-1. Slider. This is a hitter's count right now. 3-1. Big at bat right here. See what you got. Guerrero fouls it off on the outside edge. 99 miles an hour. Full count. 6 hits for the Blue Jays. 3 runs on the board. They got runners on the corners with 2 outs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1 for 2 today with a solo homer. He's got the opportunity to tack on some insurance runs for the Blue Jays and ensure this Game 5 victory and go up 3-2. Come on, bro. You can do it. Here comes the toss. Deflate this crowd. Way outside. It's a wild pitch. Barger is going to score easily. Ball 4. Look at that. A wild pitch lets Barger go to second. Another wild pitch lets him go to third. And this wild pitch scores him. It's 4-1. Vladdy with the walk and Barger Scores easily. Look at that. Is that going to be a wild pitch or a passed ball? Roberts is like, oh, man, are you kidding me? There we go. There's the Surrender Cobra. The Surrender Cobra is alive and well in Los Angeles. Runners on first and second for Bo Bichette. 99 right in there, strike one. 2 outs. Load the bases, bring in Springer for a dinger. They'd have to bring him in for Kirk. That would be funny. They'd have to have a backup in place. Low and inside. Ball one. 101 miles an hour. Enriquez looks angry. But pitching angry is not going to help you if you're going to be throwing it that far out of the zone. 1-1 is the count. Here's a 1-1. Outside. 100 miles an hour. That pitch that Smith missed, that wild pitch, that was 101 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the next toss to Boba Fett Bichette. Little high. He tried the slider to drop it in there, but he threw it too high. 3-1. Yeah, there was that pitch. Three and one. Runners on first and second. Here's the toss. Right in there. Hit out in the right field. That'll be down for a hit. Is it going to score another run? Jimenez is waved in. He'll score. Guerrero gets to third base. The throw's over there, but it's off target. Guerrero slides in safe. It's 5-1 Blue Jays. Boba Fett Bichette with an RBI. Tommy Likey. Opposite field hit on the 99-mile-per-hour fastball. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's that throw to third base. Now they're having a meeting on the mound between the pitching coach, Enriquez, and Will Smith. That's right, Sydney. It reminds me of Wild Thing 2. Game 6. Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Kevin Gausman will be back on the mound for the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Yamamoto versus Guzman. Gausman. Dodgers going to need some gauze after these games. 5-1, baby. Dodgers crowd quiet, sitting down. Captain Kirk at the plate. Start date October 29, 2025. I am 1 for 3 today. And runners on the wings. Some runners on the wings. In the dirt, 2-0. That's right. Keep throwing those 100 mile-per-hour pitches in the dirt, outside, inside, high, whatever. Anywhere but the strike zone is fine. 2-0 is the count. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Here's the toss to Captain Kirk. Outside. Ball 3. The slider missing. Enriquez right now is not able to get his slider in there. Not able to get the fastball in there. He might walk Kirk. Might have bases loaded. Here's the ye old toss. Little high, ball 4, 98 miles an hour, a 4-pitch walk. Look at that. And that's it. Roberts can't take any more. That's all he can stand, and he can't stand no more. He comes out to pull Enriquez out of the game. Pitching change imminent. We've got another commercial break. Dodgers make another pitching change because this inning is falling apart. Bases freaking loaded for Dalton Varsho. I love that comment by Sydney. That's good. That's good. Sydney says $321,287,291 well spent. Good job, Dodgers. Good job, Dodgers. You can definitely buy a World Series, except when you can't. Freaking Dodgers. If by some lucky chance my brother happens to be watching this, screw you and your Dodgers. That's all I have to say. There's probably 0% chance my brother would be watching my channel. Daryl says bankrupt. That's right. That's what happens when you dodge your taxes. They come after you. Can't stands you. Can't stands you. Oh, man. What percentage of the United States hates the Dodgers? I wonder. It's a good question, I think. If you have not liked the live stream, I would appreciate you doing so right now. Let me take a look and see how many likes we have at the moment. Varsho is coming up to the plate right now, kicking the dirt around a little bit, getting ready to sink in and hit his grand slam. Bases juiced. Bases juiced. First pitch for Anthony Banda. Inside for strike one, 94 miles an hour. It's lefty on lefty. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-1. 18 likes and 50 people watching. Come on, guys. Give me at least 7 more likes. We got to get at least a 50% on the likes to viewer ratio. Come on now. Here comes a 1-1. Ground ball up the middle, and they flip it to second base for out number 3. So nothing doing. They get lucky. They get lucky. The Dodgers get lucky, but they're still down by 4. Womp womp. 5-1. 7 hits for the Blue Jays. 5 runs scored, no errors. The Dodgers have 2 hits, 1 run, no errors. They will be up in the bottom of the 7th in just a moment. Whew. Boz thinks that more people hate the Yankees than the Dodgers. Really? I think it's... I don't know. I think the Dodgers are more hated, but it's probably close. Only the Mets spent more money. Yeah, and we see how they turned out. I guess they didn't have enough of the grimace shake power to get them through. 79.5% says Daryl. Jay's gonna do it. We want it all. We want it. We want it, my precious. My precious. My precious. Ah! That's probably what the Dodgers fans sound like when they lose. Ah! Like Smeagol. Gollum. East Coast are too busy hating the Yankees. TV Angel says home run here would be a beautiful thing. Yeah, a grand slam would have been really nice. It would have been beautiful. Too bad it was just a ground out. That was weak. Weak sauce. Casey Jones says probably a lot of the people staying up late in that stadium are hating. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? They go to the game yesterday. Ohtani's pitching. And the Dodgers lose. Perfect. Then the series is tied up. Today, the last game in Los Angeles. It's the bottom of the 7th, and they're down by 4 runs. Love it. Casey Jones says, once again, Dish Network is 38 seconds behind. Daryl says, Houston Texans at home against Denver should be a good game. Yes. I'm looking forward to that game. Fox at bat. Same feeling I have. Hates the Dodgers and the Yankees. Me too. It's sad because I really like Aaron Judge. I really like him. I would love for him to be on the Astros. Can you imagine? Having Yordan Alvarez and Aaron Judge batting back-to-back. That'd be awesome. Freddie Freeman at the plate. First pitch is in there for a strike. Second one is fouled off. Strike 2. Over 1. Freeman did manage to get on base in the 4th inning because he was hit by a pitch. Here comes the 0-2. High. Ball 1. Edgardo has a good Lance McCullers. Well, he didn't give up quite as many runs as McCullers would have. Another strikeout. There we go. That's a dozen strikeouts. That's now a record, a rookie record for strikeouts in a World Series. 1 dozen for Yesavage against Freddie Slaveman. Boz Baby says, I can't stand dynasties, even if the team hasn't dominated in recent years. Yankees, Lakers, Cowboys, etc. Well, yeah, see, that's my problem with the modern day Yankees, Lakers, and Cowboys is that those players and their fans, they are not the way they used to be. Well, let me put it this way. Those organizations and their fans, they do not compare to the organizations and the fans of yesteryear. They become trashy. That's my problem with them. But you know, way back when, they always talk about how many World Series they have, but how many teams did they have way back in the day when they first began? A handful of teams? This is a little tapper to the left side. There's no play. It's an infield hit with 1 out. Teoscar Hernandez is on. He took a big hack at it, barely got a hold of the ball, tapped it over to the left side. Clement had no play. 97 pitches now for Yesavage. Tommy Edman comes to the plate with 1 out, a runner on. A nice double play here would be a great way to end this outing for Yesavage. Here's the pitch. 98 miles an hour, 88 miles an hour. Slider, strike 1. Strikeout and a pop out today for Edman. 0 for 2. Here comes the next toss. Swing and a miss in the bottom of the zone. 0-2. Sydney says Brewers spent $115 million, $136,227, 23rd on the list, and were the best in baseball until they sucked in the playoffs. That's true. They barely got by the Cubs. They should have railroaded the Cubs. They didn't, and then they just shut down against the Dodgers. Completely disappointing. Low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner on first, one out. 1 and 2. In the dirt. 2 and 2 to Edmund. Tommy wants to take Tommy to school. That's right. Oh, man. Whew. I can't wait to cook some hot food. It is so cold. High. And inside. Full count. At least I can relax. I can kick back and relax and enjoy it. Rockets had a good game, despite playing soft defense again. Rebounds were all over it. Now the Blue Jays are winning. Fouls it off on the inside. Count remains 3 and 2. Yesavage is up to 103 pitches. Looks like he wants another ball. What are they playing with the organ right now? Blue Jays fans are cheering in the crowd. There's a grounder to third. Could be a double play. Clement over to Falefa. Falefa to first. And it's a double play. How about that? Yesavage finishes 7 innings with that double play. Clement to Falafel to Guerrero. 22 years old. His mom and dad, they must be very proud. He's only given up 1 run to the Dodgers on a solo homer. That's it. Kiki Hernandez has a solo homer in the 3rd, and that's the only thing the Dodgers have scored. We are going into the top of the 8th. Anthony Banda was on the mound for the Dodgers. We'll see if he's still in the game in just a moment. What a good game for the rookie. Can we PayPal you some hot soup? I wish you could. You can, I will tell you this though. If you PayPal me, it goes right into my account. And when it goes right into my account, that means that I can use my debit card. I have a debit card. For those of you who'd like to send me a few dollars for some soup, I'd love to have some hot soup. But I'm not going to be able to have any hot soup unless I get a donation, because I'd have to leave the house to go get it. Here at home right now, all I have is eggs and bacon and some cheese and some tortillas. So I can wrap some eggs, bacon, and cheese in a tortilla. But to go get soup, I'd have to go out, and I won't be doing that. But if somebody wants to send me some donations, I'm more than happy to go get some soup. Actually, now that you mention it, what I need to do is go to Costco. They've got these big cans of of cut tomatoes and tomato sauce in cans, like mini cans. You can buy mini cans. I can take 1 can, open it up, and make a soup out of that, because it's like a soup base, basically. I can put in other vegetables. I can put in chicken or beef or whatever I want, and then make myself a really easy, quick, nice hot soup. And now that winter is rolling in, it's a really good time to be making soup. The organ is AC/DC, Thunderstruck. Casey, it sounded like annoying struck to me. I didn't even recognize it as Thunderstruck. I'm familiar with the song, but I did not recognize it. It just sounded annoying. It was just like they were just running their fingers nonstop. The coach just gave Savage a hug. Everybody's hugging him, giving him some love. Very first batter is Clement. He fouls it away for strike 1. Yeah, soup this time of year is perfect, especially around here. It gets so cold inside the house. last time I stayed here during the winter, I was eating soup almost every single day. This is bounced down the third base side. Foul. 0-2 is the count. Come on, Clement. He's 0 for 2 today. Look at that. Guerrero getting the big hug from Yesavage. Fouled off again. Count remains 0-2. Gordon says, I so love this Jays team. They look so much more likable than the Dodgers, right? It's a real team. Hey, there we go. On the 0-2, Clement hits it out into center field. He's got himself a hit today. He's 1 for 3. Addison Barger comes to the plate with a runner on and no outs in the top of the 8th. Casey says, Canada banned. No. Australia, sorry. Are you talking about AC/DC? Barger at the plate. Here's the first pitch from Banda. I keep wanting to say Panda. I look at his name and I just want to say Panda. Anthony Panda. Strike 1 on the outside edge. Barger 2 singles today. A walk and a run scored. Here's the toss. Another one outside. Woo! Called a strike. 95 low and away on that corner. 0-2. 0-2. 0-2. Here comes. Nope. He goes over to first base. Not a serious throw. Resets the pitch clock. That's about all. Classy team, says Gordon. Yeah, AC/DC originally from Australia. That's right. I never thought about that when I was younger. Oh, and outside, the ball gets away. All right. Another runner advances on a throw in the dirt. Smith has to run over to grab it. Now you got a runner in scoring position with no outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 strikes to Barger. Volcano. Are you saying blow it up? Let's blow it up. Here comes the next pitch, the 1-2 to Barger. How about a barrage? Barger barrage. He taps it over to second base. That would advance the runner to third, but that's out number 1. All right. We got a runner 90 feet away with just 1 out. Trey Bien. Second youngest MLB history with 10 strikeouts plus in a postseason game. 0 hits in 5 1/3. Most strikeouts in a game by a rookie with 12, I believe. Well, if it hits it through, and that's going to score another run. Very first pitch, he wastes no time. Clement scores. It's 6-1. Blue Jays just manufacturing runs, basically, at this point. Yeah, we're actually showing Blue Jay fans in the crowd. Thank you. Instead of showing constant Dodgers fans. Nice pitch. Nice hit. Nicer hit. Right through the hole. Blow it up, baby. Seeing those maple leaves in the chat reminds me of around here in Hiroshima. There are a lot of maple trees around here in Hiroshima. And they have this little treat that they make. It's in the shape of a leaf, in the shape of a maple leaf. It's called momiji manju. Momiji is the Japanese word for maple. But momiji manju is a type of sweet cake that has some filling on the inside. It's very yummy. I like the matcha ones myself. Those are my favorites. This is hit high into left field. It should be playable, and it is for out number 2. Jimenez flies out. Falefa stays at first base. Miles Straw is in the game batting for Schneider. Top of the 8th. The Blue Jays have put up one more run on the board. It's 6. Yeah, 5-1. No, it should be 6-1, shouldn't it? Is that updated right on the screen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it should be 6-1. Why isn't it showing? There it is, finally updated on the screen. Okay, MLB's stats were not updated. I don't know why. It's 6-1. High. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 Miles Straw. Sir Anthony Dominguez warming up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. That's right. They're having trouble with the Maple Leaves. 83, high and outside. That's got to be the strangest name I've ever heard. Whoops. That's got to be the strangest name I've ever heard for a sports team, the Maple Leaves. Who names their team the Maple Leaves? Oh, that's so scary. Don't let them fall on you. Don't let them gently drift down and fall on you. How could you lose to the Maple Leaves? Well, I went to bed and I came out and my whole yard was covered with leaves everywhere and I didn't know what to do. I was swamped and I didn't have enough energy and time to rake them up and burn them. They beat me. Steal opportunity and he gets in there. How about that? Cleffa takes second base. Will Smith had no chance. That was a good jump. 3 balls and 1 strike to Straw. Another opportunity here for the Blue Jays to drive in a run. How about that? Looks like I've got some messages. A good morning message from an ex-girlfriend. That's hit high in the air on the first base side, and it floats back out of play. Full count. Also got messages online. I got a message from a German associate. I'll take a look at that later. Boss says I could say the same about the Cardinals and the White Sox, the Red Sox. I said way up in the air on the infield. It should be out number 3. 2 guys are under it. Freeman takes it. And that's it. But the Blue Jays do wind up with one more run. It's 6-1. Going into the bottom of the 8th, the Dodgers have 6 outs remaining before they fall behind in this series 3-2. Well, you can't say the same thing about the White Sox and the Red Sox. It makes no sense. But the Cardinals, at least it's an animal, you know? At least it's an animal. It can do something. But an inanimate object, a sock lying on the ground, it's ridiculous. Orioles, well, you're bringing up animals. I don't care about birds. I mean, obviously, they name these teams after things that are kind of well known or famous somehow in that area. If it's an animal, I can at least understand that because it's at least an animal. It's a living thing. It can do something. But an inanimate object like a leaf or a sock, these are silly names. The Metropolitans, yeah, but once again, you're talking about things that are living. What's wrong with the Astros? Actually, the Astros, The Astros have the strongest name in all MLB. I don't know why you brought that up. In ancient Greek, an astro could be a celestial body. It could literally mean a god. So if you are a god, wouldn't you be stronger than anyone else? So I guess the Astros have the closest name. No, that's not what astro means. Astro means a celestial body. And in Greek, if you go to the Greek, it could be a reference to a god. Heavenly celestial bodies. It doesn't mean stars. But stars are, since when are stars not living things, though? It's not something that's just gonna lie there and do nothing. I mean, stars give life, right? So no star, no life. No Astros, no life. That's a completely different way to look at it. A star can completely destroy all life. So even if it isn't referring to a celestial body, it's a reference to a star, and a star gives life, and it can take it away. But a leaf, a sock. This is hit over on the right side. Flip over to Dominguez, and he steps on the base for out number 1. Max Muncy goes down on the ground out. Kiki Hernandez comes up. Yeah, but I think everybody's missing the point. The reason I mentioned the Maple Leafs is because, first of all, it came up in the chat, and it was right there in front of my face. The second thing is, I couldn't think of anything gentler to compete against than a leaf falling off of a tree. Yeah. I think even a sock might have a better chance of winning. Maybe somebody could grab a sock and strangle you with it, but a leaf, what are you going to do with a leaf? You could grind it up, maybe, if it's a poisonous leaf. But if it's a maple leaf, maybe that tastes good. I don't know. If you crush a maple leaf up like you crush tea and put it in your hot water, maybe you can have maple leaf tea. I don't know. But everybody's now bringing up all these names. I wasn't bringing it up to compare. I didn't say there weren't other stupid names. I didn't say that. I'm just saying I saw the leaf, and it reminded me of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I thought, it is such a silly name. But you can't compare the name Astros with the Leafs, the Maple Leafs. You can't compare those two names. You're talking about celestial body versus a leaf. I mean, there's no comparison there. If it's the Houston Rocks, then you have an argument. Or the Houston Sticks. Or the Houston Soil, or something like that. 1-0 is the count to Alex Call. 2 balls and no strikes on that delivery. Yeah, I know, Brendan, that's exactly the point. I see a lot of attacks and defense coming up. Somebody's getting really defensive about the Maple Leafs, but I haven't said anything that's untrue. And I'm not picking on the Maple Leafs. I just happen to see Maple Leafs on the screen. It would have been the same thing if I saw Sox on the screen. It's above the zone, but that was actually, could have been a strike at the top of the zone. Ball 3, 3-1 to Call with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 8th. The Dodgers, you're making Sandy Koufax so angry. Look at him. He looks so dissatisfied. 99. Yeah, all right. There we go. They called that a strike against Call. Call called strike. He thought that was a walk. The crowd is booing, but the umpire gave one back. Yes, that was too low, but they took away a strike, so now it's even. See, this kid is like, What is with that? What is with that? Well, what about the pitch that was in the zone that he called a ball? I mean, you got to call it both ways. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the toss. Ball 4 inside. Now that one missed. That was a fair call. So that was a fair at bat. The umpire took one away and he gave one back. They have a runner on first with Ohtani at the plate. I know that the maple leaf is national pride for Canada. It's also a source of pride for people here in Hiroshima. The maple leaf is not special for Canada. There are many places in the world that are famous for maple leaves. Even in America, there are places famous for maple leaves. Here in Hiroshima, they're famous for maple syrup, maple leaves, momiji manju, and they have all sorts of designs and things that are based around the maple leaf because they have a lot of maple trees here in Hiroshima. So Canada is not special because they have maple trees. They have just marketed it and pushed it more than anyone. If you don't believe me, get out and travel some more. It's true. I didn't realize that until I moved to Asia, and I was like, holy cow, Canada's not the only place with maple leaves. Look at that. Ohtani grounds out on the very first pitch. Guerrero Jr. gets the ground out from Ohtani, puts his hand on the base, and Ohtani goes down for out number 3. That's a funny way to end the inning. We are done with 8 innings of ball. We go to the top of the 9th. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. looks like he'll be leading it off against Blake Trinan, who'll be on the mound for the draft Dodgers, followed by Boba Fett Bichette and Alejandro Captain Kirk. Got a lot of discussion going on in the chat. If you look up the origin of the Astros name, it doesn't just mean star. It doesn't just mean star. And in the Greek, it also meant not just celestial body, but it can be a reference to godly bodies, to gods. If you don't believe me, just go look it up. I'm not going to argue about it. I'm just telling you the way it is. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what they were thinking about when they named the Astros. I'm just telling you the origin. Go look it up. That's enough about that. Boz Baby says Houston Nasta Astros. Yes, but it doesn't have anything to do with what I just said. Maple leaves were alive at some point. They were part of a tree, a living thing that allows us to breathe. Boz, what in the world is going on with all of this defense of a leaf? I mean, okay, the fact is, naming your team after a leaf, it just seems silly when you think about it. Most of us don't think about it. Whenever our team plays the Boston Red Sox or the Chicago White Sox or our team plays the Toronto Maple Leaves or we play the Baltimore Orioles or whoever, in whatever sport, in whatever league, when we play those teams, usually we don't think about the name of the team. But if you actually stop and think about some of these names, they don't really make sense. Because a lot of teams, and in case you didn't know this, the number 1 most popular team name and mascot in America is the Tigers. There are so many teams from elementary and all the way up to the major leagues, all the way through college up to the major league level. The most popular sports name is the Tigers. Why do people pick the Tigers? There aren't any tigers in America outside of the zoos, or at least there shouldn't be. So why do they pick the Tigers? Because it's a fierce, strong opponent, right? That's the idea. So if that's the idea, then why pick a name like the Sox or the Leafs if someone says, well, because it's a national identity thing or it's a local thing, that's why they picked the Orioles, or that's why they picked the Blue Jays, or that's why they picked this bird or that bird, because, you know, it's local to the area. The Cardinals. I get that it's local to the area. I'm just saying that it is very far removed from being a fierce competitor. And that's what I'm saying. And that's why, if you really think about it, it doesn't really make any sense to me. If you think about it, you can disagree, and that's fine. I'm just saying that's my point. That's my point. I don't know why I have to go so far to try to explain that point. Instead of just seeing the point and agreeing with it, people bringing up other teams and trying to make it seem like all teams have ridiculous names. Well, some teams do have ridiculous names. Bo Bichette he comes to the plate with one out. Guerrero grounded out. Here comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Strike one. Blake Trinan on the mound in the top of the ninth. Nope, it's not the Wildcats, it's the Tigers. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside. The Fluffy Bunnies. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bichette. I'm in my early 50s and I'm feeling spicy. There's nothing wrong with feeling spicy. Just don't be ridiculous. Talking so deeply about, like, it really did come off as being really heavy about defending the Maple Leaf and trying to compare it to other things and that has absolutely, literally nothing to do with what I was saying. Yes, of course there are other teams with silly names. But a useless conversation it blew up into nonsense. Who cares? Yes, there are nonsensical names. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan pitching to Bo Bichette with 1 out. Captain Alejandro Kirk on deck. Bouncer. Second base. Easy toss over to first base for out number 2. And guess what? George Springer might have a chance to bat. Is he going to bat? Oh, he was going to bat. He took his helmet off. Kirk at the plate. Outside, ball 1, 98 miles an hour. 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the 9th. Well, don't get too spicy, because once it gets to a certain point, I won't be able to deal with it anymore. I don't mind spicy comments, but when it starts to become ridiculous, I start to cut it off early. That's going to be it. Ground ball on the right side. Kirk goes down, and that's all for the Blue Jays in this game. Unless the Dodgers can find a way to come back, this game is over. It's 6-1 going into the bottom of the 9th. Will Smith due up, followed by Mookie Betts. Smokes, drinks, cheats, all of the above. And Freddie Freeman. Yeah, this is game 5. This is game 5. Blue Jays win this, they'll go up 3-2. That's correct. Let's rename the Leafs. What is scary in Canada? The government? The communist government? You could call them the Toronto commies. You call them that. Socialists? Communist socialists? Maybe I'll hit some nerves. You can call them the Toronto Trudeaus. The Toronto Trudeaus. After this, they go back to Toronto? Yes, they do. They're going to have a day off tomorrow. There will be no World Series game tomorrow, just to let you know. The next 2 games, which I don't think they're going to have 2 more games, but the next game will be in Toronto. And if for some reason there is a Game 7, it will also be in Toronto. But I really believe that the Blue Jays will close this out in Game 6 in 2 days. So 2 days from now. 2 days from now, boy. Let's see. Let me pull up the schedule right quick, see if it's at the same time. I would imagine it is. For me, it will be November 1st. For all of you, it'll be Halloween. November 1st, 9 o'clock. It's the same time. Game number 6 is scheduled also at 9 o'clock Japan time, which I believe is 7 o'clock Central time, 2 days from now. The chipmunks are pretty scary. Well, you know, it seems like a long time ago, the desire was to either have a name that kind of represented something in the local area, or to have something funny or interesting or just entertaining. But over time, it became, let's make something really fierce and strong. I mean, the Raptors, for example, it's a newer team. So let's name them after. The Raptors is not even a real creature. At best, it's an extinct creature. So you name your team after a creature that doesn't even exist. It's fictional. But then again, we have teams named the Dragons, you know? So there's that. 86 miles an hour. Jeff Hasselhoffman is on the mound for the Blue Jays. 2 balls and 1 strike. He is facing Will Smith. Grounds that ball foul, 2-2. Last chance to see sad Bodger fans. The Los Angeles Badgers. Oh, no Tawny. No way, no Tawny. 0 for 12, 7 strikeouts for the number 1 through 4 hitters. Ohtani doesn't have a single hit. Wah, wah. And he struck out once. Wah. Owned by a rookie. How does it feel? Ohtani in the first 4 hitters in the lineup for the Dodgers, not a single hit. Ohtani, Smith, Betts, and Freeman completely hitless against the rookie. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right in there, hit out into left field. That'll be a leadoff single. Smith is finally on base. That's the first hit for a guy in the top of the batting order. But they couldn't hit that guy right there. He was a Yesavage today. Throw him a softball pitch to see if he can hit it. Apparently he can. Hey, look, the cheater is at the plate. Boo, boo. Mookie Betts cheats, smokes, drinks, deals drugs. He does everything. Here's the pitch. Right in there. 96 miles an hour, strike 1. Every time this guy comes to the plate, I'm going to remind you that he is a cheater. Why? Because when he comes to the plate, they don't boo him. But who they boo? George Springer, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, all these other Astros. Altuve didn't even cheat. But every freaking stadium in America, except for Dykene Park in Houston boos these players. Why? Because MLB decided to make them the scapegoat for everybody's cheating. Dodgers fans are on their feet just standing there with their arms at their sides because there's nothing to do, really. Mookie strikes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Love to see the big money team lose. Me too. 3 more outs, and the Blue Jays are 1 game from winning the World Series. That's correct. 1 strike away from putting bets down. Here's the toss. Low and outside, 2-2. Sydney says the Eagles, the Hawks, Falcons, Vultures are all Raptors. There's quite a difference between those animals and raptors, because raptors are fake. They are extinct at the very least, but fake at best. They don't even exist. 2-2. The count remains. Yeah, you'll see him at the local bar drowning his sorrows. Look at him. Are they praying now? That's hit pretty high in the air to left field, but it's playable. Bar shows underneath it. Out number 1. Mookie bets, cheats, and flies out. Runner on first base, 1 out for Freddie Freeman. How many do we have viewing right now? 72. Man, the view count is way, way down today. I can't wait to get back over onto my main channel so I can actually get some income. The past few days I've made $0.00. First pitch is inside, ball 1. With 78 watching, I should have about 40 or more likes, but I have a feeling we didn't get there. High and outside, ball 2, 2-0 to Freeman. I'm going to refresh the screen here and take a look and see. 23 likes. This is miserable, guys. We're not even at 25% on the likes. I will stop the live stream if you don't like the live stream. We got to get at least to 50%. That's terrible. You're letting me down here. It's bad enough that I make 0. It's costing me money to do today's live stream. At the very least, like the live stream. Come on. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the toss to Freeman from Hoffman. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Nice slider. The kid's not even watching the game. He's got a Dodgers popcorn bucket on his head. Good for you. Swing and a miss. Another slider in the bottom of the zone. Freeman can't handle it. 2 down. Strike him out. Jay Harness says this gives me 2022 World Series vibes. I saw an article by a guy who claims that Astros fans don't know how to feel about the Blue Jays World Series. You have no idea what you're talking about, sir. I haven't met any Astro fans at all who are confused about how to feel about this World Series. The majority are happy with the result. Why wouldn't they be? Springer's on the Blue Jays, and they're beating the Dodgers. What's to be confused about? 2 straight strikes to Teoscar Hernandez. 1 strike away from ending this game and taking the 3-2 lead and going back to Toronto. Come on now. Runner on first. No balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Hasselhoffman on the mound facing Teoscar Hernandez. Here comes the toss. Check swing. He holds back. 1-2. Dodgers fans are standing on their feet, but they're making literally no noise at all. They're not cheering. They're not clapping. Just like the Dodgers themselves. They're just standing there. There we go. Just like this. That's all they're doing. They're standing there. Look at them in the background just standing there. Here's the pitch in the dirt. Can you see them? Look at them back there just standing. They're doing nothing. The organist is trying to get them to get into the game, but they're not having it. You can hear the organ playing and like a handful of people. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No, not on this channel, Brendan. I get nothing. Not on this channel, but on my other channel, yes, I do. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's it. Hasselhoffman calls in Kit and gets the K. Kit, I need you, buddy. Dodgers immediately head to the locker room. Game 5 winner, when the series is tied 2-2, goes on 67% of the time to win the series. There we go. So the Blue Jays come back from being down 2-1, tie it up, and then take the series lead. This game is 6-1, 9 hits for the Blue Jays, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Yesavage, the rookie, 22 years old, pitched 7 innings. Gave up 1 run and 4 hits. That's awesome. 12 freaking strikeouts. That was the last pitch of the game right there. Teoscar Hernandez getting owned. And that guy right there, 22-year-old rookie, breaking some records today. How about that? 1 solo homer for Kiki Hernandez. The stadium was already mostly empty. They weren't showing it on the screen until now, but it was mostly empty. Isn't it funny? The people that stuck around the most were the ones in the upper deck. If you look at this, you can see the upper deck seats were more full or fuller than the lower deck. So that means all the people that came in that paid more money for the higher seats, the more expensive seats, more of those people left before the game was over than those who left from the cheaper seats. You see? So the people that had to pay, who had to pay cheaper money to get those nosebleed seats, they're bigger fans. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 0 walks, 12 freaking strikeouts. So they are interviewing Trey right now, and they're talking about how you felt going into the game. Yeah, awesome job. 3-2. Blue Jays lead the daft Dodgers. Let's see here. Jay Harness says this Astros fan feels great about this World Series being the LA Dodgers, especially with Springer on the team. Yeah, that's the way most Astros fans feel. I don't think there's any confusion. You're welcome, Fox at Bat. Thank you for being here. Are you doing the next games on your main channel? Yes, Brendan, I will be back on my main channel. As of today, my live stream is back on my main channel, so I will be back over there. You can be on the lookout for those notifications. Thank you for asking. Back to the J Dome and the Go Dome for a Game 6 clincher on Halloween. That's right. It'll be November 1st here, but Halloween for those of you in the U.S. Game number 6 will be on my main Go Dome channel because live streaming is re-enabled. So I will see you back over there for game number 6 in Toronto. And thanks to you. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you for being here. See you in Toronto. Total Dodger humiliation. Love it. Me too. Same here. Daryl says to all the rich people with more time on their hands. That's right. They can't be bothered. No, I did not pay good money to come here and watch this rubbish. I will not allow my team to lose in front of my eyes. My eyes are too good for that. Let's leave and go to the bar, go to the club and get some brandy or something like that. Sharon says, well, and this is an underdog team. In your face, ESPN. Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bluebird. You got an Astros player on the team. That's right. I've been saying for a long time that these people online and these media outlets who've been calling the Blue Jays underdogs are retarded. Because when I first saw that, I thought, what? Wait. What? The Blue Jays are underdogs? Did they not pay attention to what the Blue Jays have done from the All-Star break into the end of the season? Have they not paid attention to the kind of team that they have? Because they are definitely not the underdogs. They're not the underdogs. The reason that they think they're the underdogs is because their name isn't the Dodgers. That's why. That's why. Same thing when they played the Mariners. They were calling them the underdogs. Mariners don't have a bad team. They've got a good team. But the Blue Jays are not the underdogs, and they haven't been the underdogs this whole postseason. It's nonsense. Casey Jones, rock and roll, see you on Halloween. Absolutely, I will see you there. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for the likes, the subs. I will be back over on my Go Dome channel for game number 6. Dodgers at Toronto. Los Angeles at Toronto. Good game today. It was a great day. The Rockets whipped the Raptors. So the right Toronto teams lost and won today. The Raptors lost. Perfect. The Blue Jays won. Perfect. See you all in a couple of days. Tomorrow is a day off. No Rockets games, no Texans games, no World Series games. So I'm going to take the day off and do some other things. I've got to go pick up my friend Glenn. He's coming back from Osaka. Looking forward to seeing you in 2 days. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. Sleep well, sweet dreams, much love, and I will see you soon. For now, that's all I got to say. Let's go. And I will see you in a couple of days, yo. Bye-bye.